How are the Ravens out in Denver, the high school? How are they doing this year?
I think they're doing pretty good so far. I haven't been able to keep as much tabs on them as I would like to, though. But it's cool to be able to call them Ravens now, though. That's for sure.
Hey, Calais, I'm not sure even a lot of people know that you're on the field goal team and you're off to the right. You pushed a guy who was coming around. I mean, how much pride do you take in playing special teams and knowing that you were on a record-setting kick?
I take a lot of pride in that. I do. I've been blocking for field goals all my life, really. From high school, college, all the way through the league. And you've seen some some spectacular things happen. Big kicks, game winners, and all that good stuff. But you can't ask for anything better than a record setter. Being a part of that. And just being a part of that history. It's pretty cool.
How excited are you to head back to Denver, where you went to high school, and plan on visiting anywhere?
Nah, I won't be visiting anywhere. But it's very exciting. It kind of brings you back to the days when this was just a dream, and it's year 14 and time flies, but I can remember like it was yesterday, just, being in, middle school, high school, and just working as hard as I could to realize this possibility. And for me to be here today, 14 years, in, and being able to go back to Denver and play a football game, and, in the stadium I used to, kind of just dream about playing in, it's pretty cool. It's pretty surreal. So I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Did you ever think you were going to be a Bronco?
Oh, well, when I was, like 10, yeah, of course. I was like, I'm going to play for the Broncos. And, I was actually still a big Broncos fan until I had to play against them. Even when I first got to the league and we didn't play against them in the regular season, I still would root for them as long as it didn't affect us. And then once I played against them, all that went out the window.
Calais, what advice do you give teammates preparing for playing in the thin air of the altitude?
Well, there's not much you could really do. Just try to, make sure you get a lot of cardio. We've been able to get a lot of that with these exciting games. You really just gotta just get on the oxygen machine and make sure we rotate. Keep a good rotation, especially on the defensive line. And but besides that, just gotta get an early lead. That's the goal, the biggest goal. You don't want to be in a ball game where it comes down to the last play. Because it's gonna be, definitely gonna be tired. You're gonna feel it.
Calais, you mentioned all your years in the league. You started this season with an overtime game, a fourth quarter comeback, and a record-breaking kick and another comeback. What has that experience been like for a guy who's probably seen everything? And what does it say about you and this group moving forward?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that it kind of conditions us to learn how to win. Learn how to win in those tough moments. The game's never over. As long as there's time on the clock, and I think we start building that confidence that we can win those tight ball games. And hopefully we can make them a lot less interesting, and we can win a little more decisively going forward. But for us to go where we want to go and have a chance at that, in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl, you're gonna have to win some tight ball games. And so just build that confidence, that belief that just stay the course, keep doing your job at a high level, and the plays we made, somebody's gonna step up and make a play.
Anything surprise you anymore? Have you seen everything?
I will say I've seen everything, but this last week though that was unique. You don't see that too often, if at all, really. Maybe you see it happen with with a 58-yarder, maybe even a 60-yarder, but to hit a 66-yarder to win a football game, it's still a little mesmerizing. You kind of like it's a big deal.
So with your starters out last week, did you think you had to take your game up another notch?
Yeah, as a veteran player, sometimes when you're missing guys, you feel like you got to pick up the slack a little bit. But it really should be a standard though, always, of just playing at the highest level you can. But we were just thin, and we just had to, take it one play at a time, and each play, just give it your all. And we had a decent little rotation going on for a while, but when it got thick in there, it's just like we all got to be on the field and just make a play. But it's always better when you got your full your full arsenal of people.
Have you talked to Derek Wolf to try to see what's going on with him through this time?
I talk to him often, but he's just he's going through the process, and love to have him back as soon as possible, but he's going through the process.
Denver has run a really balanced offense this year between run and pass. Is it any harder to get comfortable in a game against a team like that?
No, I think they just have committed to the run, and done a really good job with it. And when you're able to run the ball, you can be as balanced as you want to be, So the way we have to combat that is just by, winning those early downs and winning against the run. And, if it's second and 6 or less, you can be very balanced and you can do all the play action. And you start getting first downs, earn first rounds. Then you can start throwing the first down. And, it's just the way the game goes is just the best way to combat that is to win the early downs.
You've been around a lot of kickers throughout your career. How is Justin Tucker maybe a little different than some of the other guys that you've been around?
I feel like most kickers have always had big personalities. I feel like to be a kicker in the NFL, you have to have a different kind of swagger. But Tuck definitely has the biggest personality. He's just, you never seen a kicker make so much noise in the team room, in the meetings. Usually they try to be, seen, not heard in that environment. But Tuck is so comfortable. He's always, he's the big jokester. He's always, just keeping it light, keeping it fun in there. And it just says a lot about his confidence and just who he is as a person, and he makes it fun to be his teammate.
Calais, how are you holding up physically through 3 weeks? And also, do you find yourself having to balance maybe getting in Wink's ear about playing time at times?
I feel pretty good right now. It's definitely it's football season, so, things hurt, but for the most part, I know that in year 14, I have to be smart. And I have to, pace myself because this is a long season and where we want to go, it's going to be a process. But I also know that, I want to be out there. I want to get, feel for the game and be the best version of myself. So, it's a balance of trying to figure out, what the right formula is for playing time and how, when to take breaks and how often to take breaks. But, we're all figuring it out. It's a moving process, but I definitely, I'm always in the coach's ear about, what I think, can help us win and, especially with just me on the field and what I can do to help the team win.
How difficult was it to get through the first 3 weeks of unexpected roster changes happening literally leading up to the game? And I know some guys are coming back today. Do you feel a sense of relief that it could be somewhat normal heading into this game?
Yeah. You always prefer not to have, to have the same roster, available to you at the beginning of the week, and when you have those unexpected changes, that's kind of like the new normal, with the COVID thing the last couple of years. But at the same time, too, injuries happen in this game all the time. You see people go down on Fridays and stuff. It's sad, but it's part of the game. And so you always have to be able to adjust, and it's next man up, And in this team, we have such a deep team, and we believe in everybody in the locker room. So, if your number gets called, we know we can count on you.
Thank you, Claire. Thank you.